Hi, I'm Katie without an E, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. Here I talk about a bunch of books that I'm reading and books that I want to read. And for example, today's video is going to be about 8 fantasy books that I want to read before the year is over. Because there are a lot more books that I want to read versus that I have already read, and that list just keeps on growing. And I tried to narrow it down to the ones that I want to read the most, but of course I can't talk about all of them or else we'd be here forever, so I picked 8. Anyway, the first book that I really want to read is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang, and I've just heard really good things about this book. It's a fantasy standalone, which is really cool because series are kind of intimidating. That's the word. I just feel a little intimidated going into big series, so I'm excited that that one's a standalone for now. And from what I understand, it's about a mother and son who are part of a group of people who can wield blades of ice and raise the sea. I know that the son wants to be some sort of warrior, but I've honestly kind of haven't really looked into this book that much because I do want to be surprised. But I've heard that it's really good. I've seen people on Discord saying that they've cried while reading it. And I'm also excited because it's the buddy read for the Wizardly Duo Discord, which I will link down below because it's a nice group of people that I really enjoy reading with. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this one sometime soon in July. The next book that I want to read is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. And this is a series of books, so each book follows a different child who lives in their perfect world. So that means that they somehow find a passage to their world that is most perfect for them. That doesn't mean that the world is perfect in general, but it's perfect to them. And then once these kids have to leave this world for whatever reason, they have a hard time adjusting when they're back on Earth. So this brings them to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. And I think that's such like an interesting concept. The books are really short. I think book 1 is under 200 pages. So I feel like it's a good read to have when you're in between really big books if you just want something that's not huge and intimidating. And they also look really interesting. I'm really excited to hopefully get my hands on that and read it soon. The third book I'm going to talk about is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I haven't read anything in the Grishaverse, but I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who hasn't, so I feel like I need to read it so I know what everyone's talking about. But yeah, I don't even really know what Six of Crows is about. I know it's a heist story. I think it's like a group of outcasts who come together and they try to perform this heist and that can make them rich. And I heard the characters are really good, and I really like a character-driven story where I could feel for the characters, really relate to them. So I think this book is going to be something that I really like. I just don't fully know what it's about, but I think it's going to be good. Everyone keeps talking about it. I feel like just randomly all the booktubers videos who I've watched have read it recently. So I kind of took that as a sign that it's time for me to read it, and I'm going to get it sometime soon. Another book that I really want to read is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. And I feel like I've heard a lot of great things about this book. It's about 2 people who were orphaned during a revolution, and they have trained to become dragon riders, and now they're rivals for like the top position. And I feel like I haven't read a good book with dragons in it in a while, and dragons are really cool. And I just really want to read it. I couldn't tell you why. I just read the summary. I was like, yeah, I'm down. And yeah, I made it into this video because it just sounds really cool, and that's really all I could say about that. What I also want to read is Brandon Sanderson books because I have yet to read a book by Brandon Sanderson. I own 2, which is Skyward, which I have talked about before, but I also really want to read the books that are in the Cosmere because I haven't yet, and that just sounds ridiculous. Specifically Mistborn, because that's the one that I have, and I know so many people really like this book, and even just reading about it, I was very interested. So from what I understand, it follows a group of people who are able to use metal to give them abilities, and there are people who could use all of them, and that makes them Mistborns. And I don't really know what else happens after that. I'm thinking about making like some sort of like vlog or reaction videos while I am reading this. I think I'm going to read this in July just because I don't know if it's overhyped. I'm scared that it's overhyped. But I think I'm gonna really like it. I better really like it. I am also interested in the Stormlight Archives, but this is what I have, so I'm gonna read this first and then just kind of make my way through. Warbreaker also looks really good. And yeah, I will get through them all, I promise. And I'm excited. I also really want to read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I read More Than This by Patrick Ness in May, and I really liked that book. I really liked his writing style, so I really want to read A Monster Calls as well. I think it's about a boy who has had the same nightmare every night since his mother became ill, and then he gets visited by the monster from his nightmares. So I really just like the concept of dreams and nightmares when they make it into books. So that just seems like that this book will be a really good fit for me, and I already know I like the author, so I'm really excited to hopefully read that one sometime soon. The next book that I want to read is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And it's about a girl named Cassiopeia who accidentally summons the Mayan god of death. And when this god is summoned, he says that she has to help him take back his throne. If she does it, she will meet her demise. And if she does, her dreams will come true. That's what the back of the book says. And that sounds really interesting to me. I think accidental summons are so cool. I don't know why. That's just the concept of that. It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting to get this person with me, and now they are. And I don't know, that there's something about that just really gets to me. I know it's not like Cemetery Boys, but it kind of reminds me of when the main character accidentally summons a ghost, and I really like that concept, so I'm hoping to read more books that kind of have that trope in it. And yeah, this one just sounds really good, and I'm really hoping that I can read it soon. But there's so many books that I want to read. I'm overwhelmed. So who knows when I will actually read it, but hopefully soon. And the last book that I want to read is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This follows a girl in Cairo who is a con woman, and she accidentally summons a djinn. I think that's how you pronounce it. And that makes her forced to accept the fact that magic exists because she's been kind of avoiding that. And that's another accidental summoning book, which makes me really want to read it. I've also don't think I've ever read a book that's set in Egypt, so that just sounds really cool as well. And I'm hoping that sometime soon I will read that, which I keep saying about every book. But who knows? We'll see. I'm sure I'll find other books that I want to read, and everything's just going to get messed up. But yeah, that's all the books that I have picked out to talk about today. I really like fantasy. I'm starting to really get into that genre more. So there are so many books that I'm discovering that I want to read, and hopefully I will be able to read them all, but it might take me the rest of my life to get through them. But that's okay. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.